They were all once ponies, but their flesh had degraded to near nothingness, while some were just skeletons. They all wore dark and degraded steel armor that covered their backs and chests. Swords and axes hung from either their mouths or their legs. Some had spears, all old but by no means blunt or broken. Although they were basically dead, they moved like they were living. They even screamed battle cries as they charged towards the now terrified ponies and horse. Rabel quickly fired a bolt from her crossbow, hitting one in the head and sending it to the ground with an unnatural shriek. Holding it as his eyes faded out, as he became a corpse once more. "Look for me!" Rabel cried before the dragon was on top of them, and the dance of battle had begun. One dragon launched a spear at Rainbow, but the agile Pegasus leapt through the air and landed on top of it, stabbing into the creature's back and sending it to the ground. She pulled the blade out, spun around, and ducked as another chimera with a swing of its sword. Rainbow countered with a thrust of her own sword, but it was deflected a quick recovery by the creature. The dragon headbutted her into the ground and moved on top to finish her. Rainbow kicked it in the groin and stabbed up through the neck. The dragon fell on top of her. She could smell the eating stench of the creature, which was repulsive. "You guys need to take a bath!" She kicked it off and called to Applejack. "Hey, Applejack! 3 already!" She saw the earth plane, finishing off a dragon by slashing across the neck. "And on 6!" she called back with a grin. Rainbow's eyes widened in surprise. "What? No other pony's gonna outscore me!" She picked up a spear that was on the ground and threw it to the ranged dragon, hitting one through the open mouth. Another soaring up in the air, attempting to dive on her, while another charged at her head on. She backed up from the two, allowing the two dragons to collide with each other and fall to the ground in a heap of bones. Twilight meanwhile was firing spell after spell at them, sending each she hit crashing into another behind. A dragon dodged one spell and came at her with a huge sword in its mouth. It swung in an attempt to cut off her head. With a squeak of alarm, she dived to the ground and let it swing over, missing her head by millimeters. She quickly got up, thrust her blade to the dragon before it could defend itself. Another came at her with an axe raised, and hoped it would have bent herself on her skull. She raised her sword and felt the impact of the axe meeting her blade. With an amazing, almost unnatural strength, it began inching its weapon closer to Twilight. It grated her teeth together, trying to force it away. But it was too strong. She quickly closed her eyes and powered up her horn. With a blast of magenta light, the dragon turned to ashes. She turned around and steadied herself as another came at her with a spear. Brady was somehow able to fight with such grace. She reared up on her hind legs and was in a guard position, with her face giving nothing but what she was supposed to do next. A dragon came at her, swinging its sword downwards towards her exposed chest. She gracefully spun around the creature and thrust Dancer to his side. Another moved forward and lunged his sword at her. She deflected the attack and made one with her own stroke, but that was blocked. She stepped back as the dragon swung its sword in a wide arc, then dived and thrust Dancer forward into his chest, just as it was about to make a sweep down. She felt the knee joint of one of them hit her in the belly, sending her to the ground on her side. She rolled away from the dragon that hit her and got her back on 2 hooves, dancing being held protectively against her chest. The dragon eyed her for a moment, trying to make a quick slash across her face. She pulled her head back, missing the sword by millimeters, then brought Dancer down to the dragon's sword, smashing it. She took the moment of confusion to thrust the sword into the creature, then pulled it out again as another came at her. Piggy had turned this into a game. "Listen, now you got to see," she sang as the dragon swung its axes at her left and right and center. Each one missed, however. She was just too quick. She dived when another axe came at her, but squeaked when she felt a bit of her mane get chopped off. "Oh, now it's personal." She met the dragon's next attack with her own sword, and punched the stinking creature in the chest, winning it. But then backed away and slashed her sword across its neck, severing its head from its body. She turned to face another dragon, which was coming up behind her, only to have her mouth hang open in horror. The dragon was tall, very tall, and had huge swords easily the length of her in its mouth, but its head so that the sword was raised in the sky, came gradually down towards her in the hope of a strike would split her in half. Pinky ran forward, stepping out of the way just slightly for the sword to come crashing down on the ground. Then she flung herself beneath the creature and stabbed upwards to the belly. Before the thing could fall on top of her, she jumped out again, but the creature to fall the other way. Applejack was happily making her way through the dragon. "9, 10, 11, 12, she whispered to herself. as she hacked, cut, stabbed, slashed the creatures that came at her. A dragon smashed into her and sent her to the ground. She kicked out with all fours until it sent it straggling. She got up, slashing into his chest and into the neck. "Third time!" she whispered, looking quickly at her rival. Her hands to shoot her crossbow once more, hitting another in the chest, before another came at her friend. "This is our right to these things!" she cried as he stepped cautiously. He circled her for a moment, trying to understand his opponent, before jumping at her with a strike, aiming to slash across her chest. She dug back for the attack, and then deflected the next one as he tried again with a raised sword. She held it for a moment, struggling to weaken the other one's resolve. Her applesack pulled away, stepped to her right, breaking the sword through where the shoulder would have been. "Fortune!" she whispered to herself as the creature fell to its side. Thriller was sending scores of Dragon back to the grave. Although the horse was slower than the ponies he fought alongside, the way he used his sword was something like wielding a claymore. No, he's a male. Male stallions can't be claymores. Trust me, I've watched the show. Absolutely none of your listeners are going to get that joke. No? But maybe one day. He raced into the air, struck down onto the other dragon, hacking it in half. Another came down from his left, which swung around and sent it flying across the room. He has gas from his belly to his shoulder. Fireside flinched every time she saw the axe came down, or sword slash, or thrust forward towards one of her friends. Her heart beat to the point she feared it might explode for going too fast. She couldn't help but watch helplessly as her friends performed a dance of battle around the dragon, their swords slashing, hacking, and stabbing. She feared that any moment she would see one of her friends fall. She couldn't allow that to happen. In fact, it made her more determined than ever to break out of the bubble Twilight had placed her in. Ignoring the screams of Dragon and cries of her friends, she punched the bubble with her hose repeatedly in the same place, but to no effect. She sighed heavily and looked at the magic wall that separated her and her friends, trying her best to dim out the battle in front of her. She suddenly got an idea that seemed ludicrous, but might work. Twilight said it would protect her from outside attacks, but not from inside. Raising her right leg, she drew out Drade's band out of its scabbard and prepared to thrust it through the bubble, hoping it would break. She took a deep breath, and a quick prayer to Celestia thrust Drade's band forward. The bubble popped in an instant like a balloon, fell a few inches to the ground. She looked up, and gasped in horror as she saw Twilight get knocked down by a dragon. Two more to the sides with their swords raised, ready to finish her. "Leave my friend alone!" she snapped. Without a second thought, she dodged to one in front, stabbing through the chest with drain spray and fire wing. Then she sprayed her wings out, and impaled the two at her sides to the chest, neck and face with her wing blades. She pulled them out, sending the three Draugr to the ground, lifeless once again. Fireside looked down to see Twilight, looking up at her in wonder. "You saved me." Fireside backed away from Twilight and helped lift the unicorn back onto her hooves. "Yes, let's not try to make this a habit, okay?" Twilight nodded. "Agreed." Backs turned back to each other as four more Draugr surrounded them. "You take two? I take two?" Fireside nodded. They reared up and drew her two blades, Drade's Bane and Firewing. One came at her with a sword, slashing at her neck. She leaned back, the sword missing her neck by inches. Then attacked back with both her swords, but each one was blocked by the dragon. She pulled back and quickly made a feint attack to the left, hoping it would lead the dragon to explode. The dragon moved to counter the strike, and then Fireside moved with Drade's Bane to the right. The dragon noticed the movement and moved its sword back to his chest, deflecting the attack downwards. The second dragon attacked, thrusting its sword towards her exposed side and belly. With Drade's Bane, he sent the sword to the ground, and slashed across the dragon's neck with Firewing. The first dragon attacked again, this time aiming for her hind legs. She went back on three legs to protect them once she figured out what she was up to. It growled as she did this, as did she. She made a quick slash with her sword at his chest, stepped to the right quickly, but not quickly enough as she felt a sharp pain appear on her shoulder. She went to see a small cut across her shoulder, blood weeping from it. She looked again to see the dragon coming at her once again. This time, the sword raced in the air. She quickly rolled to her left, missing the blow as it came down. She was hitting the ground. Then Drade's Bane sliding to the forelegs of his creature. "I'm sorry," she whispered as she brought Firewing down to his side, finishing it. She felt disgusted herself as she watched the golden eyes of the creature fade out. Might have been dead, but was sort of living nevertheless. She pulled Firewing out and looked around. She could see Applejack was beginning to tire, as was Twilight and Rarity. She knew they wouldn't last much longer. If this needless fight continued, they would die. Oh boy. Oh, merciful DM, please give them an out! She suddenly remembered that these were Dragonlords they were facing, and as such she might understand she spoke in Draconic. She stuck to hold anyway. She closed her eyes, took a deep breath, and cried out, "Hold up! Stand down." Everything stopped. First I opened an eye and saw everyone was looking at her. "Jakeside, hold up! I said, stand down," she shouted again. The dragon backed away quickly from her friends, and quickly fell back behind Fluttershy. Pegasus breathed a heavy sigh of relief. "Those would have been terrible last words," she muttered to herself. "What did he do?" Rainbow asked, stunned by the sudden lull in fighting. "I told him to stand down," Fluttershy replied. She looked back at her friends and saw the state they were all in. Applejack got a few small cuts, where she wasn't quick enough to dodge completely a blade or an axe. Rainbow had one wound on her right side, near her wing. Rarity had several cuts across her body, but most weren't deep enough to spill blood. Piggy seemed fine. In fact, she looked ready for more. Twilight had a pained shoulder where she was knocked over, a small cut from her fight with two of the Drogon. Apart from a few scratches that weren't serious and untidy manes, they were all fine. Except for one. Thoreau's body was full of huge gashes and cuts that streamed with blood. He looked ready to fall over it, and then Fluttershy rushed over to his side, taking a towel from her saddlebag, wiped some of the blood that dripped down his body. "Leave it, Fluttershy. I've had worse." "Forgive me if I don't believe you," Fluttershy replied. "There's no way I'm leaving you like this." Twilight walked closer to Fluttershy, eyes never leaving the Drogon barring her way. "I don't understand. What are they waiting for?" she whispered. "Heaven, there's someone get a commander here." "Who commands here?" A voice called out from the group in slow, seemingly painful tone. Fluttershy's ears shot upright. "Whoever he is, he's speaking in Draconic." She turned to Applejack. "Here, take this." She gave the Earth Pony the red towel on her hooves. "Clean up Charles' wounds, put pressure on them to stop the bleeding." Applejack nodded, then proceeded to clean Thrall's wounds. With that taken care of, Fluttershy turned around to face the Dragon horde that barred their way. She gulped down the lump in her throat, trying to keep the fear that she had from her voice, and responded Draconic. "Just nakadem me, Jeksa commander de Ike." "I speak for them, but I do not command now." She waited for a response, but none came. "Fils Hamadulea, fils to feel." "Show yourself, please," she asked. A huge, bulky figure emerged from the Drogon horde. It was taller than most of them, wider and more fleshy. It bore a beautiful bronze helmet that was shaped like a dragon's head. Its armor was dark steel like the rest. It was worn out after centuries of neglect, but was decorated in runes. It was written in style of dragons. A torn, dark and dirty red cape covered its back and flanks. "Her, Captain, your faithful to Zorkon. I am Captain Arabald of the Dragonlord Order," it said, and narrowed his golden eyes to the 7 equines, which seemed to radiate respect and hatred at the same time. "Yes, I'm no do yo, that's your to get so it see whom se did. Who are you? Why are you here?" She felt her heart beating against her chest, threatening to burst through her ribcage. She glanced back to see her friends, despite having fought an army of them. God through almost, although not escaped, but alive, they were sinking with fear. First I took a deep breath, and began remembering how to be assertive. She needed to now for the sake of her friends' lives, as well as her own. First I slid a hoof to her chest, bowing her head in respect to the Dragon Overlord. "Jacob Fluttershy, defeated the Drogon." "I am Fluttershy Firewing of the Dragonlord Order," she responded. The creature snored in disbelief. Trycker dragon färdiga. Har blodsegen nu i dissident. Har factor of furniture hela Safaka. A true Dragonlord would have broken into this place. Where are you? Renegade or deserter? Fluttershy's jaw dropped in his accusation. Indig fandom. Säkert autokar kommer när jag hittar old Finny och Nunuke. Så jag drömde hända. Där jag sitter fickan och går till fastspåret. Men jag har feber och nu heter. Nej, sir. I need to get here to get the key so I can finish Heimdall. The only way I could do that was to ask for my friend for assistance. She indicated her head to Twilight, who was watching the conversation with interest. Jag kunde inte spåra de andra till höger och hissa grunden då att få ett sak fett och söka dessa fast att hem. I couldn't ask the other Dragonlords to help me, because for all I know, I am the last. The Dragonlord snorted once more and stepped menacingly closer. Lone liar, it said coldly. Der är förrädda för undon när jag sitter att förflytta till platser hårdare krut. You're a renegade of the order, here to steal any wealth that place holds. Fireside's wings snapped open in anger. She had been called a freak and many other things, but never a liar. Neither can I make a longer. No one calls me a liar. Fireside growled, her voice and tone lacing with venom that sent a chill down everyone's spine. Now for telling me have fun no looking or taking that got fine hair. Now tell me where that key is, and I'll be on my way, please. The dragon shook his head. Je vill erken forte och förrätta eller unlugga för det där nu dubbelty. I will not tell a renegade and a liar anything. Fireside moved so fast it was done in a blink of an eye. She charged at the creature and tripped it up on its hind legs, sitting it to its side, her legs pointing away from her. She placed the foreleg on its neck and pressed down hard, choking it, while another was holding down its side. Jag förlikar till skatten när historien och tartufar kanske. Fortell mig det som följer fitte. I don't want to hurt you, but I will if you don't tell me what I want to know, she growled. Nah, fortell mig för hur hooken kan nog killa bevisa. Now tell me where the key is, now! The dragon behind him moved forward to defend her fallen lord. Istället hörde han då, tillbaka mot det. One more step and he dies. Now get back! Fluttershy roared. Finally came out of his scabbard, threatening to go through the neck of the Dragon warlord. The Dragon backed away fearfully, head slow and submissive. Fluttershy, stop! Twilight started, but was stunned by the glare from hurrying away from Fluttershy. Twilight backed away low, head and ears low. Fluttershy saw this inside, her ears falling flat on her head. I'm sorry. Believe me when I say I don't like doing this. I really don't. But I need to know where that key is, and I can't see any way getting it out of him. We all do, Twilight agreed. But choking the life out of him is not going to get us anywhere. Hostan kom, för några manessen din från Badaken, där fann hovakan. Man du kunde icke så då se nicken, så är så för då kjent, när finner back in igen och icke kan dö. Mot det kom, smässen och luckan till sitt då, så kan nästa för hooken, där så för ta. Horses came a few months back through the back entrance. They found the front, but they couldn't get in. So they managed to locate the back entrance and entered that way. They took the key back with them to a place called Ironhole Fortress, I believe. Dragonlord said quickly and breathlessly. Confronted to let that day! How do you know this? Fluttershy asked, pressing down hard to get it to speak. Det är sätter han håller. This place has ears, Dragon answered. Mens vi förlufta faller. Kunde si hålla då där fattar så kom där för föden och då så fattar mig. Då vi snabbt We could hear the words of those outside in our dreams. Satisfied, Butterfly released her hold on its neck, backed away towards her friends, giving the creature space to breathe. It said horses came here, took the key, and a few other items back to a place called Ironhoof Fortress. She turned to look at Dora, who looked paler than before. Do you know where that is? Dora nodded weakly. It's a castle belonging to the Andalusians north of here. I think so, anyway. Butterfly nodded her thanks and turned back to the Dragonlord. Fy föräldrar, fy fan, ni tycker när jag står här. Vi står för slipper, måste försätta fy. We'll be going now. We have no more quarrel with you. If you let us go peacefully, and we... The Dragon's Lord laughed, cut her off. Trotte, du flicking, ett chicken hade täcket, det slipper, det fröfattar, det sätter. Det är du under det färna ha, det saffan med försåt. Do you really think I'm going to let you leave this place after you and my friends killed so many of my soldiers? First I strode forward, wings stretched out to defend her friends. Jävlar, jag har kom en fläck för hur jag hyser samman. Jag måste finna fötter till att första oss. You attacked us. We came here in peace to fight a common foe, and you tried to kill us. Förförlighet cirka här. Försöker förlöta för så facket cirka beskräckta. Det sätter då dämmes rätta plats. Jag föredrar i mitt fri. Och beskräckta. Because you are intruders here. When I was buried here, I swore to serve after death, to defend the resting place of these Dragonlords, and to protect the key. First I snorted. You definitely, well, you haven't done a very good job, have you? The Dragonlord seized with anger. I have had enough trading words with a renegade. Let's back as dragon warriors. Direct them! Kill them. Slaughter them and imprison their souls. Fluttershy's assertiveness left her that moment. She backed away fearfully into the others, who began to back away as the dragon army began to move towards them once more. I'm sorry, girls. Drolla, I messed up, Fluttershy said, bowing her head and saying, Don't be. Although I admit it was pretty impressive. And you got the key's location out of it. Rainbow said with a half-hearted grin. Yes, Fluttershy agreed. But what's the point if we won't be leaving this place alive? He felt their rumps hit the back of the wall and sighed sadly. They drew their blades as they prepared to fight once more. Suddenly an idea came to Twilight's head. Girls! Drolla! Stay close to me, okay? She whispered. And 60 coins squished up against the unicorn, prepared to put her plan into motion. The Drogon were now directly on top of them. And 9 or so that were farther raised their swords as one and prepared to finish them. Twilight closed her eyes and emanated a bright light from her horn, so bright that the Drogon were blinded by it and forced to back away, while the equines behind her had to squint their eyes. All right, everyone, run! Twilight yelled, cantering into the Dragon host before them. The 6 equines followed suit, Thrall limping slowly behind, supported by Rainbow Dash. The Drogon parted from them as they cantered through, not slowly despite their exhaustion, just the thought of survival going through their minds. Twilight glanced back to see everyone close behind her still. Keep going! Don't stop! She goaded them on. They were soon out of the keep, but back on the path. Thankfully, there weren't any Drogon out here, so she stopped. Head left and keep moving! Don't stop! She yelled. Nubbsack broke out of her canter into a gallop, followed by Rarity, then Rainbow Throb, getting weaker by a second. Then Pinky, finally Fluttershy. Thanks, Twilight. And I'm sorry about earlier, she said with a sad smile. Don't mention it, Twilight said sincerely. Now let's get out of here! Twilight spun around, and with Fluttershy, galloped the slope towards the exit, with an army of Drogon cantering after them. They moved up an embankment, then went onto another tunnel. This one brighter, due to a small amount of daylight coming from the far end. Fluttershy glanced back, and her heart slowed slightly. See they had a reasonable distance between them and the Drogon. She quickly passed Drolla, needing medical attention immediately. Saw the passage turn around a bend and back outside. She looked back to see the pupils in her eyes and struck the mirror Prince back. She got no over him, and when Squeak tried to get him back on his horse, but that in heart his throat was cooperating. Leave me, Fluttershy. I'm done. There's no way I'm going to survive for much longer. He gasped. No! Fluttershy spat. Can't forget that. There's no way I'm going to leave you at the mercy of those things. You have to, Dora argued. My wounds are too great. Like I said, I'm not going to live long enough to be much use to you. Don't say that, Fluttershy sniffed, glancing down at the tunnel every now and then to see if Dragon were near. You are going to live, Dora. You said yourself you could do worse. Yeah, that's why I think it's time for me to go. Look down the tunnel where the exit would be. Now listen, Iron Hill Fortress is north of here. You keep going until you find a river. Follow that east. You can't miss it after that. We won't, because you're going to show us, Fluttershy said, her eyes brimming with tears. Thor shook his head. We all know that's true. Hey, I lived a good life. I may have done some things I regret, but I wouldn't change it for the world. First, I felt a few tears run down her face as she realized she was saying goodbye. Hey, Joe smiled, painfully raising a hope to take Fluttershy's home. I want this. You know that. There's no greater wish than a devil of Slayer's choosing. He gripped Fluttershy's hoof tight as a spasm of pain went through him. You see, Freya, tell her I love her, and I died well. Please? Fluttershy nodded. He kissed him lightly on the forehead. Goodbye, Stella. Thanks for everything. She sobbed. Goodbye, Fluttershy Firewing. Good luck. Thora smiled, and with that, Fluttershy let go of his hoof and galloped towards the exit, not once looking back. Now, you see, here's a guy. This is called allowing the main six to do what they need to be awesome, and forgetting these losers. Thora watched her go with a sad smile. It was true he wanted this, more than anything. But he felt guilty for leaving Fluttershy and her friends out there alone. But he took heart, knowing he could defend themselves and with his directions, they would be alright. Painfully, he got about his house, turned around to face the dragon horde coming up tunnel towards them. He didn't expect to go down lying down on the ground, nor did he want to. He had faced death standing, with a sword on his leg as a slayer horse guy. He saw the first of the dragon coming up the hill, and braving himself for his last battle with a sigh of content. He'll be seeing his wife and daughter real soon. The sound of steel clanking to bronze hit Fluttershy's ears as he ran around the bed. Her eyes were watery. It was clouded her vision, but she could still make out the light of day at the far end of the passage. As he arrived at the exit, he stopped to look back, hoping to see Throa emerge around the corner, bloodied but alive. His ears fell flat as he heard the sounds of swords hitting each other fade away, and suddenly there was silence. She dived out of the cave into the warm yet breezy day. Her friends were sitting in a circle, all of them out of breath and exhausted after fighting and running for their lives. Piggy was the first to look up, and her face pulled a grin as he saw Fluttershy standing there. But it quickly faded as he realized he was missing. Where's Fella? Fluttershy didn't answer. She just stared at Pinky grimly. She turned around and moved the large rock that sealed the cave across the entrance, blocking the way. She pressed an ear by the rock to see if she could hear the sounds of hoofs coming towards the exit. The calls of a silver-maned horse asking to be let out. She sighed sadly when nothing came. She backed away and moved to join the others, her head low and her eyes narrow, showing her sorrow. Pinky's eyes began to water. First they gave a doleful nod. They all fell silent and somber as they remembered Throa and what he did for them. Fluttershy was mixing her feelings about Throa's loss. On one hand, she was upset at the loss of such a great friend and a good guide, while on the other, she was glad he would be able to see his wife and daughter again. But she kept such thoughts to herself. Before he died, Throa said to me I need to head north until I meet a river. Then I need to follow east until I get to Iron Hill Fortress. Fluttershy said suddenly. The 5 ponies looked at her incredulously. Whoa! Right there! Why suddenly this eye business? You know, there's 6 of us, people asked. Because you're all giving hope, she answered. She gave them all pleading looks. Please, I beg you, I implore you, go home and let me do this alone. I don't want to lose you like I lose my father and throw up. There's absolutely no chance that's going to happen, Sugar Cube. Yara signed in agreement. We're all in this together now. Don't you forget that. What if you die? What if you die and I survive? My father and throw up already died. I'm scared of you because you and I are going to die too. It is a fool who believes that the cause of death was a fire. And I do it on no fool. A voice came out of nowhere. The 6 points clambered close together, blades drawn and crossbow bolts in place, as they looked for the speaker. A speaker that seemed all too familiar to Fluttershy. I know that voice, Fluttershy said. So do I, Applejack said. Me too, Rainbow said, surprising both Applejack and Fluttershy. A solid gasp of Pinkie made them all turn around on the spot to see who was facing. They saw the great dragon hanging off the edge of the mountain from where they all came out of. He was slightly smaller than other dragons that he had encountered. His scales were a sunny yellow, but unlike other dragons, long black mane like a pony's running from the back of his head to his shoulders, while spikes came from his mane running down the back of his head around a long tail, and black claws that were as dark as starless night. His eyes were a dark green that seemed to stare into their very souls, and yet showed wisdom that they only saw in Princess Celestia's eyes. A small smile on his face as he looked at the ponies, who stared back at him with unease. The dragon spread his huge wings out and said in an old but wise voice, "Here it again, Dragonlord." Are you using your Sean Connery voice? Yes, I am! Wait, hold on a moment. Fluttershy, you know this dragon? Fluttershy said, surprised. Fluttershy brought her head out from behind Applejack to give a little nod. You used the dragon me and Applejack met on the railway bridge on the day we left Kindergarten. Fluttershy explained. Yeah, they was real scary, indeed, Applejack growled. I apologize for any fright I caused you, Applejack. Rosary, Dragon said sincerely. It's you, Fluttershy Firewing. Why are you here? Fluttershy asked as he moved from behind Applejack to face the dragon. And how do you know who I am? The dragon flapped his wings. The sound of wind mousing through the holes in them met his pony's ears. At first, I learned your name from your friend Rainbow Dash. Your surname I learned from your dreams and taught your friends. The dragon answered. Wait, it was you who saw me hide Dash's transformation? The dragon nodded. And how did... First I looked for the dragon to Rainbow with inquisitive eyes. Rainbow sighed. Well, you were out for a month, Fluttershy, she explained. Me and nearly every Pegasus at Ponyville, still capable of flying, went out to find that dragon and made sure it paid for what it did. On the second day, we ran into him. She pointed to the dragon. Rainbow Dash told me the reasons about why she and a few other Pegasi were on Unicorn Range. I was terribly curious, for I haven't heard of a Dragonlord's birth for some time. So I followed Rainbow Dash back to Ponyville and kept an ear to the ground, hoping I was right and you would wait shortly. The dragon continued. A few weeks later, a new idea awakened, stronger and more keen-eyed than most of your peers. I was thrilled by this turn of events, for I thought the Dragonlord order destroyed. So I arranged a meeting between us on the railway bridge, so I could get a good look at you and a good smell of you. You knew where I was. Why didn't you tell me I was there? Fluttershy asked. Would you believe me if I told you? After a moment, Fluttershy shook her head. Besides, some things are better found out on your own. I wanted to make sure you were safe, however, so I followed you and your friends to a distance, until I lost you in Horsecock, after you were captured. A few days after, I managed to pick up your trail again when you left the Horsecock Highlands. Once again, I followed you to Ramshead, but I decided I had enough to training you. Now was the time we came face to face. So, you're not here to kill us? Pinkie asked, still fearful of the winged reptile. Pick me or Diane Pie. If I wanted to kill you, I would have done so by now, so that's a no. The old dragon replied with a friendly smile. Any tension between them vanished at that moment. Mabel lowered her crossbow slowly, but still kept it loaded. First I walked closer to the dragon.
So you know who my father was then?
The dragon nodded.
So you know what became of him?
The dragon lowered his eyes to give a look of sadness, then a brief sigh. That I do, my dear. I might say I am so sorry for your loss. It grieves me to learn that some of the greatest Dragonlords that ever lived has fallen. Well, I knew him pretty well. When he became Primarch, I was his side, and his mountain times about. For Primarch of the Elder is the only point to ride dragons. I believed him dead when the last Dragonlord fortress fell 5 years ago to a brutal dragon attack. Afterwards, I was lost, unable to decide what to do next, as the Dragonlords were the only life I've ever known. That was until I learned of you and what happened that day in Ponyville. The dragon jumped from the mountain face and landed on its knees, facing Fluttershy with his head held low, as it was bowing. If you will help me, I will serve you and protect you, and aid you when you need it. You only need to shout my name and I will come. Fluttershy looked at the dragon in confusion, back to her friends for help. 5 mares nodded and mouth for her to go with it. She then nodded and turned back to face the dragon, who was waiting patiently for a reply.
And what is your name, sir?
I'm named after my great-great-great-grandfather, who was the one who founded the Dragonlord Order. Fluttershy's jaw dropped.
You're related to Fighter?
Fighter nodded.
Then, if his blood is running through my veins, doesn't that make me
My kin. It does. Fighter answered. Wasn't everybody shocked? First I couldn't believe it. She was related to a dragon, one of the most terrifying things in existence. They both had the same blood. Although part of her was horrified at such a discovery. Another part was overjoyed, for she did have family after all in this world.
Wait, you said you were his mountain times of war?
Fighter nodded.
Well, my father said nothing about fighting dragons.
Fighter chuckled. Hardly surprising, to be honest. Your father was a modest pony, and never thought of me as his mount. More of a friend and aid. He never forced me to be his mount. It was always considered when I was involved. Flipped his wings. Well, now's not the time for such talk. Come, I'll show you a place where you all can rest until you're ready to continue. Took the air and headed east, stopping to see if the planes were falling. Should we trust him? Twilight asked Fluttershy, still wary of the creature. I mean, he said he could have killed us ages ago, but we had our guard up. He could be waiting for us all to fall asleep, then eat us. Fluttershy looked at Twilight oddly.
Don't think he would. Like you said, if he wanted to kill us, he would have done so by now. We'll follow him and see what happens.
Fluttershy galloped on after Fighter, while the others cantered along, still exhausted after the battle. Fighter guarded his 6 friends into a large clearing where a number of tombstones remained. On the far left end was a pool with warm, clear water, deep enough for them to sit and still have their heads above the waterline. Rarity squealed with glee upon seeing it, and promptly dived in, creating a huge splash of soaked Pinky, making her fang feel flat around her head. Fighter rested on the ground, and watched as the 6 mares cleaned themselves up, fixed and got their energy back after the mad rush to the mountain. Say, Applejack! How many dragons did you take down in the end? Applejack looked towards the tip of her hat as she can. I think I got about 24 in the end. Rainbow blew out the bottom of her lip and nodded. 24! Well, that's not bad. For an apple buck and airtime. Rainbow chuckled. I think I'm on the count of 23. Rainbow gave a smug man and puffed her chest out. Applejack's laugh echoed across the clearing. You do realize, Rainbow, 24 is higher than 23? Rainbow's eyes widened in surprise. She did a quick count of her hooves. Then she realized her friend and rival was right. She slid the hoof into the water in frustration. 3! Just one out! First I washed away the blood around her shoulder. Then got out of the pool and shook off the excess water. She looked down to see the cut she got for the stroke had finally closed. Now a small pink scar across her shoulder. A Dragonlord's wounds take quicker time to heal than ordinary ponies. Fighter explained. First I took her eyes off the scar and looked at the yellow dragon. Does it feel alright? He asked. First I moved her shoulders in circles to see if pained. Thankfully it didn't.
It's okay,
she replied.
Doesn't make it all, thankfully.
That's good to know. Fire said. You should be able to continue with your mission. First I nodded. A few seconds later, Rarity jumped out of the pool. her mane and tail completely straight and joke. After that, I could do with a nice towel to dry off the water, she said as he walked up to Fluttershy. Allow me to help you with that. Already, of course, Fire said. Once more, he drew into a gust of air into his lungs, and blew out fire to the open grass before them, creating a large inferno of flames that somehow didn't spread, despite being on flammable land. How did you do that? Rarity demanded, shocked at seeing such power. Dragons are powerful, that's a strategy, of course. We live, breathe, and play with fire, like a child with a toy. Fire answered. It's a fire warm enough for you. First, Rarity scooped herself closer until she was about the right distance so the heat from the flames wouldn't be too uncomfortable. Oh, yes, she gasped. I feel so good, thank you. She slumped down to her stomach and let out a relaxing sigh. Twilight, Applejack, Rainbow, and Pinkie soon got out as well. Reins and tails and Cuzzy received cleaned up and tended to. They joined Fluttershy and Rarity in a circle. So, young Dragonlord, Fire said, where do you intend to need to go next? Rarity nodded. I need to find a place called Ironhoof Fortress. Our horse friend said he knew where to go, but... Her ears fell flat as she slumped. He left us, she said, unable to say he was dead. Never lost and no idea where to go. Do you think you can help us? I will do as you command, Fluttershy Fireway, Fire said. I didn't say it's a command. I said it's a request. Would you like to help us? Why, as the soothsay. It will be a great honor to assist the last of the Dragonlords, Fire said with a bow of his head. Fluttershy's ears fell flat. So, I am the last. Fire nodded sorrowfully, to which Fluttershy drew a sad sigh. I was hoping my dad was wrong about that. That I wasn't the last. I mean, it'd be nice to have ponies with equal abilities by our side to help us. I'm afraid you are, my dear. For the last 5 years, I've searched high and low for any Dragonlords that may have gone to hiding, but no avail, except you. Fluttershy nodded to the ground in dismay. Still hung sides keeping her mouth. Then the order will die with me. Fire nodded in agreement. Hi, so you don't think of that, Applejack said comfortably. I'm sure there'll be plenty more Dragonlords in the future. You know why? Fluttershy turned her head to look at Applejack. Because you're going to have kids at some point. Now you can train them and look after them. Applejack stopped, her eyes widened when she saw Fluttershy's look of sorrow. The Pegasus drew another sad sigh and looked to the ground. I can't, she whispered. Don't be ridiculously darling, Rarity said, putting her hand on the Pegasus' shoulder. You may be sigh and squeak and hide and bless, and even think about dying someone as close as you. But I'm sure you'll find a nice dying someday that'll give you beautiful children. No, Rarity. I mean, it's physically impossible for me to have children. Fluttershy said, the 5 ponies around her gasped in surprise. Rarity's jaw dropped in surprise and horror. She could feel her eyes begin to water. You're Baron? Yes, I am. Fluttershy whispered. Rarity squeezed the Pegasus in a tight hug, sniffling back down her own tears as she did so. The dragons and pony around them looked at Fluttershy in sympathy and sadness. Why, you never told me? Rarity asked. Fluttershy chuckled lightly. That's a good thing to bring in a conversation, isn't it? Hey, Rarity, guess what? Can't have kids. Her smile faded. Just couldn't think of a right time to tell you, so I kept it to myself. I'm sorry I never told any of you. You know, in retrospect, some of the dialogue in the past few chapters gave us a hint. Don't be Fluttershy, Twilight said, moving into the hug. Applejack, Rainbow, and Pinkie quickly moved in. It's okay to ask. What happened that made you unable to conceive? Fluttershy pulled away from the hug, stepped back a bit, and looked down the ground. It wasn't long after I hit puberty that I got a disease. I can't remember what it was called, but because of it, I was told I wouldn't be able to conceive a child. The doctor I saw was such a nice pony. She stayed with me and comforted me while I cried my eyes out. Must have been in that room for hours while I wept. Afterwards, I was given treatment for the disease before it spread, but the damage was already done. So all that time we talked at the spa, that time we were between our children would be like. Rarity sniffled.
It's all a dream, Rarity. For me anyway, but not for you.
First, I put on a comforting hug on your unicorn friend. He gave her a small smile.
It's okay. How can it be okay? How can you be standing there without tears in your eyes like I am?
Verity wiped her eyes, took a deep breath, trying to keep a level of composure.
I cried about it for so long. I just don't see the point anymore. Besides, maybe it's for the best.
Verity thought for a moment as he was hearing things.
How can it be for the best? Think about it, Rarity. If I could have children, they and I live normal lives. They would be born, grow old, and die. And I don't have to bury them while I live on. Or they would be Dragonlords, warriors and killers. But you can times that,
Verity protested.
you're not like any other Dragonlord. Not a kinder soul than us. You could change the way they live and think.
If you was their role model, they would be exactly like you.
That's what my father thought. He thought by leaving me at the orphanage, he would be saving me from the order, and my life would go on in a different direction than the one he led. I don't think I would be able to change their fate. No more than my father could change mine.
First, I soldier's slump.
What's the point of thinking about what may have happened when it can't happen?
There must be something we can do, Twilight said. Some spell that might reverse the effect. She was cut off by a firm but gentle hoof placed in her mouth.
Thank you for that, Twilight. I appreciate you would go that far for me. But this is something that can't be fixed with a wave of your horn, like so many other things. And there was. It would have been fixed ages ago.
Guys, I know the author hasn't finished the sequel, but I just thought about it. What if that got incinerated? And her body regenerated? What if her organs did too? She could potentially be having a new set of ovaries and she wouldn't even know it. First, I looked at them all and gave him a certain smile.
I'll be okay. I think we got bigger problems than my infertility to deal with. So this is finding the last key, defeating Heimdall.
Applejack, Twilight, Rainbow, Pinky, and Randy's eyes widened as he suddenly remembered why they were here, what they were here for. First, I looked at them all with a loving smile, then turned to face the dragon.
Do you know where Iron Fortress is, Vidar?
The dragon nodded. If you want, I could take you all there myself.
You can?
The 5 ponies behind her exclaimed. Alright, Vidar scooped up the 4 non-winged ponies and placed them gently on his back. Hold tight to something, he warned them, for I'm known for my speeds.
I may have Iron back as well. Be nice to see how the dragons see the world.
First I asked. Vidar smiled warmly. Lowered his head so the Pegasus could hop on his nose, then hop on his head. What about you, Rainbow Dogs? Vidar asked the other Pegasus. No thanks, Rainbow replied with a labor huff. For my own wing power, fly to me, not on ours. Very well, if you insist. Vidar smirked. But I'm not slowing down for you. Rainbow laughed. We'll see about that, Grandpa. Rainbow suddenly shot into the air and waved for Vidar to lift off. Vidar twisted his neck and loosened the tight muscles in them. Then spread his wings, he shot up into the air faster than Rainbow could on her own. Soon heading towards the mountains with 5 screaming ponies on his back. Vidar looked back and chuckled at Rainbow's side expressive. Better keep up, Grandma, he called easily. Rainbow broke out of her shock and raced after him, leaving a rainbow trail behind her. Soon she caught up with Vidar, but was unable to go faster than him. Farsight, meanwhile, was laying prostrate on his head, gripping onto Vidar's mane as best as she could, shaking with fear. She really wished she could go as fast as Rainbow, but she wouldn't be had to gripping on for dear life. She looked back to see the others were much the same position. Except for Pinky, who had her forelegs spread wide in the air, letting her mane blow in the wind behind her. Vidar eventually stopped climbing, and even now above the clouds, lying for a climber ride to lift off. She slowly loosened her gift out of scales, staying legs out as she rose up to her hooves, waiting to see what it was like for her dragon. The wind was strong, but it didn't want to sweep her off her hooves and make her fall flat on her face. Long male mane blew behind her, making her look elegant and mighty, while her eyes sparkled with awe and wonder as she saw an amazing view. Although she was a pony that could fly, She still found seeing from the ground in the air a amazing sight. But for the head of a dragon seemed to make it more breathtaking than before. She could see things for miles around. Lakes, rivers, forests, meadows, valleys, hills, and mountains, and loved it. She could feel a smile growing on her face as she stretched her wings out and let them feel the breeze. She gave a great cry of joy as Fido thrust his wings down again and changed course, heading northward once again. Well, at least somebody's having a good time! Twilight shrieked. Pupils in her eyes just tiny dots as she gripped onto the Fido's spikes. We're not too far from the fortress now. Fido called as loud as he could over the wind. Fluttershy set herself down as the dragon began a slow, calm descent towards the ground. Pretty soon they passed a wall of mountains, and dead ahead of them was Ironhoof Fortress. Standing on a small hill, just a slope leading up to it from the western side, while the eastern side ended on the edge of a cliff next to a wide river. It had 3 walls surrounding the main keep. The outer wall, largest and the strongest, held the houses and living spaces of the horses that lived there. The second wall was a reasonable distance from the first, protected the barracks, smithies, and armory, while the third was smaller, surrounding the large keep in a small circle. The keep was about 3 stories tall, with a domed roof. 4 towers surrounded it held war engines like toy buckets. It did indeed look like a formidable fortress. Outside the front gates were untold thousands of horses besieging it. Forsyth's jaw dropped in horror when he saw the large army was standing outside its walls, while tracer buckets flung rocks, trees, and other large objects they could throw into the walls or town behind them. A large cheer echoed across the valley fortress, nestled in one of the towers to collapse. Forsyth fought down the urge to scream out. What was going to be difficult had now turned even harder as his legs turned on fence. He saw that the besieging army stretched far back, in all disciplined lines and formations, and with all the banners decorated and a rearing silver horse, marked the Polonian family, Freya's army. Behind them were thousands of tents and campfires, and baggage trains that an army of this size needed to survive for a long time. She looked to the left of the army, saw a ridge that was covered in trees, and obscured the army's view. It was the perfect place to land. She gently tapped Fidar on the head and clutched his ear. Take us down to that ridge there, please. She pointed to the place. Fidar followed her hoof and saw the ridge. I will take you down about a half-mile away. This was met with a few groans. If I am seen, they may attempt to hunt me down and kill me. They kill you also, they see you with me. Fidar thrust his wings in upward motion, bringing him above the clouds, hopefully allowing him to glide unseen past the Polomian lines. Thankfully, no one looked up to see a large yellow dragon flying soundlessly across the sky to the fortress behind, for they were too busy concentrating on bringing down the walls. Fire flew until he found a clearing where the tree stumps were all that remained of the trees that lived there. They must have used the trees here as ammunition for their war engines, he realized. Once I set you all down, I'll recover those trees, and I will go.
Not going to stay?
Fireside asked, crestfallen her new friend was leaving. I'm afraid I can't, Fireside Firewing. Do not fret about me. I'll not be far away. Should you ever need me again, call my name, and I will come. Fireside nodded and nestled his head.
Thank you, Fidar, my friend.
In her 20 years of living, she never expected to call a fully grown dragon her friend. Fighter smiled at the gesture. You're welcome, Fireside Firewing. I'll hold on. Not warning, he let himself drop to the ground. First I could feel her insides break out of their places and sit themselves onto her back. She could hear the shrill screams of Rarity, Twilight, and Applejack behind her. The spider descended rapidly from the sky, straight to the ground, while Pinky cheered with maniacal glee. Rainbow herself still hovered in place as she watched in awe of Vidar's rapid descent. The last moment before hitting the ground, Vidar spread his wings out and slowed his descent, landing on the ground with a loud but gentle thud. Quick, ponies. Get off and into the woods. He sighed. First I got off first. Surprisingly, none the worse for wear after that. Verity and Twilight slowly and groggily jumped off Vidar's back. Legs shaking and looked like they were going to be sick. Applejack seemed okay. Looked a bit shaky from the sudden descent.
Thank Vidar for that,
Twilight rasped. You're welcome, Twilight Sparkle. He smiled it out of them, shot back into the air. May my grandfather's wings shield you from questions. You'll need them to get to that fortress, he said, spun around, soared off to the distance. He always sound giving him away with some flaps of his wings. Rainbow tugged as he wants to fly away. Pity! Would have been handy in a tight spot, despite the fact that he's a dragon.
I'm not going to force him to anything, Rainbow. Besides, it'd be harder than it is if he was with us.
Firefly said, turned away from where a new dragon friend had gone, and looked at the woods.
Right, everybody,
Firefly said.
let's get into the woods like he said.
5 heads nodded in agreement. They galloped to the woods towards the ridge, where they had a good view of the fortress. A few minutes later, they arrived at the ridge. They looked on as the Pomonians began their assault on the fortress. A huge hole had been made in the wall. The thundering sound of hoofs echoed across the world as thousands of horses marched towards the breach, all the while being insulted by trade buckets, arrows, and the illusions. It was exactly like Firesight thought. This wasn't going to be easy, but they had no other choice.
We had to get in there,
Firesight said, her eyes and voice showing now desperate determination. But her fierce and never flaming shot from her trade bucket flew over the wall into another building, setting it alight. Sounds fine, so I said. The question is, how?